Commander Mira Hayes stood at the observation viewport of the human survey ship Valiant, her breath catching in her throat. Below the swirling violet clouds of the unknown planet, a shape drifted like a ghost. A battleship unlike any the human Explorer Corps had ever recorded. It was sleek and silent, its dark hull marked by no visible insignia. Half a meter from her noseplate, the viewport's reinforced glass trembled as the Valiant's scanners pinged the object into life. Blink, and it vanished. Blink again, and it reappeared. Mira's heart pounded. This was no ordinary wreck or derelict craft. It hummed with hidden power. "Commander," came the soft voice of Lieutenant Arlo Reed behind her. Arlo balanced a datapad in one hand, his other hand trembling slightly. "Scans show impossible energy readings. It looks like a cloaked battleship, but the technology is off any known charts." Mira turned. "Impossible or secret?" she asked quietly. Arlo's fingers flicked over the pad. "The readings match nothing in the archives. It's human in origin but modified, advanced. Could be one of our own, lost and retrofitted." She frowned. "Or built in secret." A chill threaded through her. The human fleet had no records of a project this vast. Yet here it floated, hidden beneath swirling clouds waiting for discovery. "Deploy a probe," Mira ordered. "I want every byte of data." Arlo nodded. His fingers danced once more, then the ship's klaxons sounded. On the main holo display, a slender dart of metal detached from the Valiant's underbelly and slid toward the battleship. Seconds later, the holo display flickered. The probe's scans streamed in. Detailed hull schematics, energy module schematics, crew quarters sealed behind unknown bulkheads. Something deep in the probe's feed made Arlo gasp. "Commander, we have structural reinforcements that match the Omega-class prototype." Mira's pulse jumped. The Omega-class was rumored, never confirmed. It was said to be the ultimate warship, fast, heavily armed, and equipped with a cloaking field stronger than any known alloy. Rumor called it the ghost of humanity. "Run a full spectral analysis," Mira commanded, "and trace the ship's origin signature. I want to know if this is one of ours." As Arlo worked, Mira pressed her forehead to the cool viewport. Outside, the battleship's smooth lines gleamed under intermittent lightning. It was a thing of beauty and terror, a monument to human ingenuity beyond the reach of any empire. Moments later, Arlo's voice broke the tense silence. "Commander, the reaction mass signatures. They're identical to the Valiant's reactor core. This ship was built at Stellar Forge Station." Mira's breath caught. Stellar Forge was a top-secret facility buried in human space. Only High Command knew of its existence. What project could justify building a ghost ship there? "Could it be a test platform?" she asked. Arlo shook his head. "No, this has seen battle. There are micrometeorite scars, scorch marks from energy weapons, recent scars. Someone used this." A low rumble rolled through the Valiant. The platform's automated defenses had activated, swiveling laser turrets and missile silos aimed at their probe. The probe's feed pixelated, then cut out. "Commander, they just disabled our probe," Arlo exclaimed, eyes wide. Mira's jaw clenched. She peered out again and saw, faint against the storm, a shadow detach from the battleship. Smaller vessels, perhaps drones or interceptors, moved in formation toward them. "Prepare defensive protocols," she ordered. "Shields to full. Redirect power to forward batteries." Below her, the bridge crew snapped into action. Lights blinked, consoles hummed. But as the Valiant readied its weapons, the unknown battleship did not attack. Its drones swept past, scanning the Valiant without firing. It was as though the ghost ship waited to see what they would do next. Commander Hayes swallowed. She knew one thing for certain: her crew was outmatched. The ghost of humanity was designed to win wars, not surveys. "Lieutenant, hail them," she said. Arlo's fingers flew. "No response," he said after a moment. "They're blocking our comm channels." Mira closed her eyes, took a steadying breath. If diplomacy failed, they would have to fight. But she had a better idea. A gamble. Open a secure channel? To Admiral Reyes, she ordered. Admiral Reyes commanded the nearest human task force, though it was hours away by hyperspace jump. If this ship was human, only he could authorize a surrender or a recall. Yes, Commander. Arlo's voice was tight. Moments later. Channel open. Mira keyed her comm unit. Admiral Reyes, this is Commander Hayes of the survey ship Valiant. We have found an unknown human battleship. Cloaked, battle-tested, and hostile. We require immediate orders. Silence. Then a crackle. A low voice answered, cold and formal. Hayes, stand down, identify yourself. We will respond in 20 minutes. A countdown began on the Admiral's end. 20 minutes. Mira's eyes darted back to the ghostly silhouette beyond the viewport. The warship that should not exist. 20 minutes to learn its purpose, or to prepare for destruction. She turned to her crew. 20 minutes, she said. Let's make them regret. Scanning us first. Outside, the hidden battleship held its vigil, scanning the Valiant in return, waiting for the decisive move. And in that charged silence, every heart on the bridge understood. They had stumbled onto something far larger than a simple survey. They had awakened the ghost of humanity. The Valiant shuddered as the hidden warship's drones completed their triangular sweep and fell back into the storm. Lightning cracked overhead, illuminating the ghostly silhouette for a heartbeat before plunging the observation deck back into darkness. Commander Hayes stood beside Lieutenant Reed, both staring at the cracked viewport. 20 minutes, Admiral Reyes had said. 20 minutes before orders. 20 minutes to survive. Below them in the command pit, Chief Engineer Jonas Patel barked out power readings. Shields are holding at 80%, he reported. But if those drones punch through again, we'll lose 80% of our forward armor in seconds. Mira nodded. Keep everything on forward shields. No power to non-essential systems. Jonas tapped at his console. Aye, Commander. Rerouting life support to auxiliary lines. Better draw on the reserve capacitors. On the comm console, Ensign Carly Diaz's voice trembled. Commander, Admiral Reyes is responding. Mira moved swiftly to the comm station. This is Commander Hayes. Go ahead, Admiral. The Admiral's voice crackled through. Mira, I have your situation. That ship is ours, Project Ghost. You must stand down and allow it to return to human command. Do not engage. Do not provoke. I'm jumping a task force to your coordinates. ETA 15 minutes. Mira's jaw tightened. Admiral, we're in a neutral zone. If we fire first, we break treaty. If we hold, we risk destruction. Understood, Reyes replied. Hold position, I'll handle the fallout. Carly looked to Mira. Commander, their silence is deafening. The drones may circle again. Mira took a breath. All hands, prepare for defensive posture. Any ship beacon signals we send must be minimal. No scans beyond what they already have. Jonas powered down the aft shields to concentrate on forward and starboard. Jonas flicked switches. The ship hummed as power shifted. Forward and starboard at full, aft dropping to minimal. Arlo leaned over the console. Commander, I've found a backdoor in their cloaking system. If I can send a false distress signal, it might confuse their sensors long enough for us to slip out. Mira considered. Risky, Lieutenant, but if we can disable their drones for even 30 seconds, I can do it, Arlo said. But I need access to their network nodes. The probe's feed gave me the basic architecture. I just need time. Outside, flickering lightning revealed the battleship's outline again. Twin prow cannons glinting like lethal eyes. The drones hovered, on its flanks waiting. Carly's brow furrowed. Commander, we've got multiple incoming microbursts in Sector 4. Storm's intensifying. If we can hide in the lightning, we might mask our signal hack. Mira nodded. Do it. Arlo, use the lightning as cover. Carly, coordinate with him. Jonas, keep us powered. All around the bridge, the crew bent to their stations. The Valiant's engines thrummed, shields glowed, and consoles blinked with iridescent data. Now, Arlo whispered. He typed a rapid sequence. On the holodisplay, a stream of coded pulses drifted toward the ghost ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the drones lurched off course, their formations breaking apart like shattered glass. "Signal hack successful," Arlo exclaimed. "Sensors are scrambled." Mira allowed herself a small smile. "Good work." Instantly, the Valiant surged forward, dropping into the storm. Lightning lit the horizon brighter and brighter, each flash masking their exit. The hidden warship's master sensors flicked, twice, 3 times, but the Valiant slipped into the violet mist. "Evasive maneuvers," Mira ordered. "Plot a jump vector to the rendezvous point." Jonas's fingers flew. Jump coils charging to 60%, 80, 90. An alarm blared. Carly's voice rang out, urgent. "Lieutenant Reed to the captain, Admiral Reyes is online." Mira tapped her comm. "Go ahead, Admiral." Reyes's voice crackled with relief. "Mira, I see your ghost signature. You're clear. My fleet drops out of hyperspace in 10 minutes at your jump point. Hold tight." "Understood," Mira replied. She keyed off and turned to her crew. "Good work, everyone. We've bought ourselves time." Arlo leaned back, sweat beading on his brow. "I never thought I'd feel proud of a hacking job under fire." Jonas chuckled. "Better to hack an enemy than get blasted by one." Mira looked toward the viewport where the violet storm raged on. "This is only the beginning. We've awoken Project Ghost, but we don't know who's controlling it. Human High Command or someone else." Carly crossed her arms. "Either way, we'll need answers." Mira's gaze hardened. "And we'll get them. But first, we survive. Then we learn the true purpose of this secret warship, and who will pay for its secrets." As the Valiant surged into the swirling clouds, every officer on the bridge braced for the next move. The chase had begun, and with it a war fought in shadow, secrets, and silent lightning. The Valiant's jump coils hummed and flared as they slipped out of the violet storm and into open space. Ahead, the star-speckled void stretched, silent and infinite. Mira Hayes pressed her hands lightly on the armrests of her command chair, eyes fixed on the shimmering hyperspace window. "Status report," she said, voice calm but firm. Chief Engineer Jonas Patel's console glowed with readouts. "Jump complete. All systems nominal. We're 10 light minutes from the rendezvous with Admiral Reyes's task force. Lieutenant." Arlo Reed leaned over the tactical display. Their fleet signature just came online. 3 cruisers, 2 destroyers, and the Phantom-class carrier. The same class the Ghost was built to hunt. Mira nodded. "Good. Prepare a defensive perimeter around our ship. But keep scanners low profile, no sudden sweeps." Carly Diaz tapped her station. "Channel open, Admiral Reyes is waiting." Mira keyed her comm. "Admiral, this is Hayes. We're in position. What's the plan?" Reyes's voice crackled back, taut with tension. "Hayes, your hack bought time but also triggered alerts at command. They want answers. I've been ordered to seize Project Ghost at all costs, even if it means detaining your crew for questioning." A cold dread filled Mira's chest. "Detain us." "Admiral, we followed orders, scans, then immediate recall, if they turn on us." "Stand by," he interrupted. "I'm authorizing you to escort the Ghost back under escort. No force unless fired upon. But expect resistance. High Command hates loose ends." Mira exhaled. Understood. She turned to the bridge crew. "We'll meet the fleet, escort the Ghost if we find it, and keep our people safe." Jonas frowned. "Commander, we can't risk separation. The Ghost's cloaking is unstable in hyperspace. It may reappear anywhere." Mira nodded. "Point taken. We stick together. Arlo, coordinate with the carrier. Carly, keep scanning for the Ghost's trace signature." Below decks, the cabins and corridors whispered with anxious footsteps. Crew members exchanged nervous glances as they braced for a meeting with human forces. Commander Hayes moved through the halls, offering quiet words of reassurance. In the briefing room, the core team assembled around a holomap. Raina Lee, the carrier's tactical officer, patched in. A blue hologram of the galaxy lit the room. "Commander Hayes," Raina said, "we've triangulated a Ghost signature 5 light minutes off your starboard. We believe Project Ghost dropped out milliseconds ago." Mira studied the map. "Show me." The holomap zoomed in. a faint shimmer drifting near an uninhabited moon. There, Reyna pointed. Jonas tapped his datapad. They're cloaking. Core is at 70%. If we approach carefully, we might force it to decloak. Mira weighed the risk. We need visual confirmation before Reyes sends boarding teams. If this is the real ghost and not a decoy, Arlo broke in. I've prepped an EMP pulse calibrated to their frequency. A short burst could overload the cloak for seconds, enough for imaging drones to get visuals. Mira nodded. But only if necessary. Let's try hailing first. Carly started the comm procedure. Broadcasting, this is Commander Hayes of the Valiant. Project Ghost, identify yourself and respond. Silence answered. Then a low hum rippled through the ship as a pulse of energy washed over them, rattling consoles. The holographic map flickered. Jonas's voice was tense. That was an EMP echo. They're testing us. Stand by EMP, Mira ordered. On my mark. Carly's fingers flew. Still no response. Mira's gaze hardened. Mark. Arlo hit a trigger. Outside, a concentrated wave surged into space. The hollow view screen went white, then slowly resolved. The massive hull of the Ghost, unmasked for the first time, sat anchored near the moon. Its dark surface reflected starlight like obsidian glass. A collective gasp echoed. Reyna whispered, It's beautiful and deadly. Mira pressed her palm to the view. We have her. Relay visuals to the Admiral. Reyes's voice crackled. Perfect. Hayes, I'm sending an escort to bring her in. Stand by to receive boarding teams. Mira closed her eyes for a moment. The hidden warship, stolen truth and covert power, lay revealed at last. All right, she said, voice steady. Let's see who really commands the ghost of humanity. As the carrier's shuttles launched and the destroyers maneuvered into position, Commander Hayes braced herself. In the silent expanse, every choice would echo in secret corridors of power, and the fate of the crew, the warship, and perhaps all humankind would hang on what happened next. Commander Hayes watched from the Valiant's command deck as two boarding shuttles glided toward the revealed warship. The Ghost's hull still glowed faintly from the EMP pulse, its surface momentarily stripped of cloak. Below, the destroyers held position in a protective ring. Shuttles are docked, Lieutenant Reed reported. I'm picking up life signs, minimal, likely an unmanned control transfer. Open the airlock, Hayes ordered. Stay sharp, we don't know what we'll find inside. Below decks, the boarding teams, led by Captain Eli Vargas, stepped into the Ghost's cold corridor. There, boots echoed against polished metal. Overhead lights revealed walls lined with alien glyphs mixed with human schematics. Scan for traps, Vargas instructed. Keep formation tight. Ensign Diaz brought up her scanner. Power signatures ahead. Something's charging. Jonas, who had joined the team, frowned. Looks like an auxiliary reactor. This ship carries reserve energy reserves, enough to power a small moon. They reached a massive door stamped with the Stellar Forge emblem. Vargas nodded to Diaz. She initiated the override. With a hiss, the door slid open into a dimly lit control room. Inside, banks of consoles hummed. In the center floated a holographic core, a glowing sphere of condensed energy. Sparks flared at its edges. Secure the core, Vargas said quietly. We need to know what makes this ship tick. As the team spread out, Lieutenant Reed's voice crackled in their earpieces. Commander Hayes, I'm picking up a hidden compartment behind the core console. Vargas moved forward. He pressed a panel and revealed a small compartment holding a data crystal. Got it, he whispered. Extracting. Suddenly the ship shuddered. Red lights flashed. An automated voice echoed. Unauthorized access detected. Initiating defense protocols. Alarms wailed. The central core pulsed violently. Vargas barked orders. Fall back. Move to extraction point. Down the corridor, the boarding team sprinted. Behind them, turrets emerged from the walls, firing bursts of energy. Jonas raised his arm, deflecting a blast that singed his uniform. At the airlock, the shuttle pilots waited. Vargas and his team dove inside just as debris slammed the corridor behind them. The door sealed with a clang. Breathing hard, Vargas handed the data crystal to Diaz. "We have what we came for. Get this to the Admiral." Back on the Valiant, Hayes watched the shuttle depart. "Good work," she said softly. "Now let's see what secrets they stole." Lieutenant Reed tapped at his console. "Crystal data is decoding. It's a hidden manifest. Lists of autonomous weapon systems and covert fleet orders signed by someone high up in command." Hayes's eyes narrowed. "Someone betrayed us. Prepare a secure comm to Reyes. He needs to see this." As the Valiant's communications hummed to life, Commander Hayes knew the true battle was only beginning. One fought not with guns but with truth that could shake the foundations of human power. Commander Hayes sat beside Admiral Reyes in the carrier's situation room, the decrypted manifest glowing between them. Lines of code spelled out secret orders and weapon blueprints far beyond known programs. Reyes's face was grave. "These orders authorize autonomous strikes on civilian worlds, signed by High Command itself." Mira's jaw tightened. "They built the Ghost not to defend, but to dominate." Across the table, Tactical Officer Raina Lee frowned. "If we leak this, we trigger a civil war. If we hide it, innocence dies." Hayes rose, voice steady. "Then we give it to the people." "The Senate. Let them decide." Reyes nodded slowly. "Agreed, but first we must secure Project Ghost. Its systems are unstable. If High Command tries to reclaim it by force," Jonas Patel spoke up, "I can retrofit the ship's core to lock out remote commands. Make it answer only to this task force." Mira looked at him, relief mingling with resolve. "Do it. Arlo, work with Jonas on the override. Carly, prepare to beam the manifest to every major colony net." Lieutenant Reed tapped at his console. "Override sequence ready, but we'll need open access to the core network." "On it," Jonas said. "We'll use the data crystal's hack code as the master key." Hours passed as the small team worked inside the Ghost's control room. Sparks flew, cables hummed, and wires sparkled under their hands. Outside, the carrier and destroyer stood guard like silent giants. At last, a steady beep came from the console. "Lockdown complete," Jonas announced. "Only this fleet can issue commands to the Ghost." Back in the situation room, Carly's fingers danced. "Manifest is live. Broadcast starting now." A ripple of shock and outrage swept across the carrier's comm feeds. Voices crackled, senators demanding hearings, civic leaders rallying for justice, civilians calling for High Command's resignation. Reyes exhaled. "It's working. The truth is out." Commander Hayes allowed herself a small, tired smile. "One warship can destroy planets, but one truth can change worlds." Far below, in the hidden corridors of the Ghost, its engines hummed anew. No longer a secret weapon, but a guardian of humanity's conscience. And as the task force moved to escort it home, Mira knew their real victory was only just beginning. Across human space, the broadcast of High Command's hidden manifest ignited uproar. On colony worlds, citizens poured into plazas demanding justice. In Senate chambers, voices clamored for emergency hearings. Even distant mining outposts buzzed with debate. Commander Hayes watched the unrest from the carrier's observation deck. "We've started something we can't stop," she said to Lieutenant Reed. Arlo nodded. "Truth spreads faster than any warship can chase it." Below decks, Admiral Reyes convened a special tribunal aboard the carrier. High-ranking officers, senators, and civilian delegates filed into the grand chamber. At the center sat the locked-down console of Project Ghost, a symbol of both power and betrayal. Jonas stood at a side console ready to demonstrate the ship's new fail-safes. "With these overrides," he explained, "the Ghost answers only to this council, not to hidden orders." He gestured to the holographic core displaying its lockdown status. "No one can repurpose it as a secret weapon again." A senator, Rose's voice echoing, "Commander Hayes, your actions preserved not only a warship but our democracy. How shall we proceed?" Mira stepped forward. We honor the will of the people. Let Project Ghost be a guardian of peace, not domination. Deploy it only with full Senate approval and public transparency. A murmur of approval swept the chamber. Even the most skeptical delegates nodded. Outside, destroyers and cruisers held vigil as the Ghost's dark hull reflected the soft glow of nearby stars. Below, the galaxy watched, hopeful that humanity's greatest warrior would now defend freedom, not crush it. Part 7. Weeks later, the task force arrived at the United Earth orbital dock. Crowds gathered on the towering piers cheering as the Ghost glided into its new berth. Banners proclaimed, "Truth prevails, and never again." Commander Hayes stood with her crew on the deck of the Valiant, watching the ceremony. Admiral Reyes unclasped his uniform insignia and handed it to her. "For your courage and leadership," he said, voice thick with pride. Mira accepted it humbly. "This belongs to all of us and to every voice that spoke out." As the Ghost's boarding ramp lowered, its hull now bearing the Senate seal, Morella, a young cadet who had once served under Hayes, saluted. "Commander, may I serve aboard her?" Mira smiled. "The Ghost needs guardians who believe in her mission. Welcome aboard." Below, engineers and historians stepped into the ship to map its every system, ensuring openness. Pilots trained alongside civic delegates to learn its secrets. And in halls once silent with mystery, laughter, and conversation echoed, proof that a warship could inspire hope instead of fear. High above, the Valiant prepared to depart. Commander Hayes watched the Ghost's lights fade into the orbital glow. She whispered to her first officer, Carly Diaz, "We set out to survey the unknown and discovered something far greater." Carly nodded. A hidden warship and a new beginning for humanity. Mira took one last look as the shuttle bay doors closed. "Let's see where the next adventure takes us." And with that, the Valiant slipped into hyperspace, ready to explore new worlds, guided by truth, guarded by the Ghost, and led by those who dared to scan deeper than anyone else.